It is a pleasure to have all of you here today to join us in this webinar. As an introduction, I am Jens, who is in Business Development in Informa. I will be your presenter for today. Before I start, if during the webinar you have any questions about anything that I presented about, please feel free to message in the chat group and my colleagues will be more than happy to assist you. If not, you can ask your questions during the Q&A segment at the end of the session or even email us. So I shall start now. In this year of the COVID, we have seen how rapidly the work environment landscape has transformed. And I personally have seen several of my clients organize future of work webinars to capitalize on this shift, to reach out more closely with their target market segments. So this has inevitably also changed the way that we all should be approaching our clients in terms of our sales and marketing strategy, which is why we are having this webinar today, to update all of you on how you can use a customized and targeted digital strategy via Informa's digital products and platforms to put your message across more effectively in front of key decision makers for achieving your key objectives, whether it is demand generation, thought leadership, or even marketing branding awareness. So this is the agenda of contents for our webinar today, starting from a quick intro to Informa, our unique selling points, the key market segments that we cover, the diverse range of basic content and outreach digital products, to lastly, our consultative approach in helping you to achieve your key objectives in the most cost-effective way. I think most of you here today will have known me and my colleagues as the Connect Tech Asia team from our previous correspondences or the EDMs that sent out from Connect Tech Asia. So just to give you a brief intro, actually Informa is our parent company. It's a FTSE 50 company listed on the London Stock Exchange, and it comprises of 5 main divisions, as you can see. Informa Connect, which is specialized mostly on convexes around finance, biotech, pharma, and a few specialist markets. Informa Intelligence, which is focused mostly on digital intelligence and data. Informa Markets, which is the world's largest trade show organizer with more than 1,500 leading trade shows globally. Informa Tech, which deals with anything that's got to do with tech, from our market intelligence company of IHS Market Tech, Ovum, Stratica, Light Reading, tech media such as AI Business, telecoms.com, etc., to our tech events and trade shows. And lastly will be the publishing division that we have that is called Taylor and Francis. So for Connect Tech Asia team, we are one of the rare few teams that actually come under the two divisions of Informa Markets and Informa Tech. Therefore, our content and outreach is not just limited to the tech landscape, but also across industries from broadcast and media, satellite, maritime, manufacturing, finance, and most other industries. So at the same time, this gives further credence to the Connect Tech Asia team key mission of helping our community make valuable connections centered around tailored content all year round. So why Informa for your digital needs compared to the other vendors? I'm sure that if you look at the market today, honestly, there are too many vendors. And there will be certainly a few of them that are charging at a lower price point compared to Informa. But I think for Informa, our key unique selling point is that we are not just any vendor. We prefer to see ourselves more as a partner to our clients in providing not just mass market solutions, but more targeted solutions with customized content and targeted outreach, which is built on the fundamentals of, firstly, our content from our research, analysis, media, trade shows, etc., which honestly no other vendor in the market today has equal strength like Informa. Secondly, our outreach, which is based on our database, which is constantly updated from our trade shows, our subscribers of our research and market intelligence services, as well as the readers for our media. So this is why we are able to customize the outreach unlike any other vendor. Thirdly, our market leading analysts, who are all globally well-known and top-ranked in their different areas of specialty. We have almost 500 analysts today, and we are still expanding in the recruitment of analysts. So these analysts provide an industry credible and neutral perspective to viewers compared to selling, which doesn't work nowadays. Fourthly, we have something for your every need, whether it's demand generation, thought leadership, or branding awareness. So instead of the cumbersome liaison with multiple vendors that you need to do for different requirements, which you may have, we actually provide a one-stop service to save your time. And at the same time, we also provide a very cost-effective package of options for your consideration. And lastly, of course, is the consultative approach where we take in our communication with our clients. So usually in our first meeting, the business development or sales team will seek to understand your needs and provide an initial advice of the best platform and tools to approach these needs. In the second meeting, we will then bring in our counterparts from the different product teams, specific product teams, and even our consultants if needed to provide the consultation to help you further fine-tune your approach and strategy via our products and platforms. After that, we will arrange for meetings with our analysts for webinars, virtual roundtables, and even our marketing team for the optimal conveyance of the key messages that you want to bring across to the target audience. Therefore, this is why I mentioned that we do not see ourselves as just a vendor that just do a one-time service. Instead, we look at a more collaborative approach and see ourselves as a partner for you for the mid to long term. So short-term business is never a priority for us. And if we feel that we cannot deliver in any instance, we would rather turn down the business than under-deliver. That, I think, is the Informa value and also our key strength in having the trust and belief from our clients. So these are some important info that usually we will need to know from our clients in initial consultation. And actually, if you look at this information, these are very important information for us to actually advise you and also to help you to strategize on what are the right products and platforms for you digitally to actually approach your target market. So firstly, we will need to know the target industry, the sub-profile, the geographical region. Secondly, we will need to know your budget, of course. So the budget so that we can plan for the best package of products and platforms for you. Of course, if you're a first timer, we can actually offer a special trial price for you to experience our quality of service delivery before committing to future collaboration. And thirdly, the period of implementation. Based on this, we can advise you on whether that is the best period to, organize your digital strategy or whether it's your webinar or virtual roundtable before we actually talk about the theme and content, etc. And at the same time, it's also for us to check with our analysts to see whether they are available. So for webinars and virtual roundtables, which require analysts, usually we need to book their schedule well in advance because a lot of our analysts are fairly well booked months ahead. Okay, and fourthly would be the expected returns. Based on this, we actually need to know what you hope to achieve from the digital platform and products so that our team can work towards delivering your key objectives and the possibility of recurrence. For a package of products and platforms, of course, they will be better priced and provide more value for money for our clients. And lastly, would be any vendor onboarding requirements that you may have so that we can prepare for these in time in case the contracting time exceeds your expected date of implementation. Okay, so this is the key strength of Informa that I mentioned just now, our content resources and our outreach, which will deliver the results for you. So through the collaboration with us, you will know where to put your money in for digital products and platforms for an effective continual outreach to your target segments. What to be focusing on in your messaging to your customers to meet their needs. And lastly, which is the most important part of how to reach out to the correct audience, which our market leading database will definitely be a key and strong cornerstone of your digital strategy. So this is a table to illustrate our footprint across different segments of technology, from media, from events, from festival, from training to research. This also allows you to understand why Informa claim to have the edge in our content and outreach compared to any other vendor. The connections that we can provide you with are diverse, yet they can be targeted, whether it is from the perspective of content, knowledge, or networking. So at the same time, while we can provide an end-to-end service for you if needed, we ourselves at Informa are also connected to the market from end to end, as you can see. We are very sensitive to the markets from the industry briefings, events, primary research, which we do every year. And this market sensing is supported by our market expertise of consultants and analysts, consulting engagements that we do on a daily basis, as well as the 395 million data points that we work on. And this market sensing and market expertise will translate to the best outreach possible for our clients to our database. 3.8 million readers, more than 3.2 million event attendees, and 30 million plus of industry contacts. So these are the key pillars of TMT value chain, technology, media, and telecom, which Informa Tech cover. You can see that almost every key technology pillar is present. Also, in terms of the industry vertical, we cover from finance, public sector, industrial software to building technology, manufacturing technology. And at the same time, we have dedicated specialists and analysts to each of these pillars. And as mentioned, me and my colleague under the Connected Asia team, we are also part of Informa Markets. So Informa Markets also covers a diversity of industry as listed. And this is exactly one of the key strengths in working with our team. So for content and tech-related industry outreach, we can leverage on Informa Tech, whereas for other industry content and outreach, we have Informa Markets as a source of database and content. So next, we will move on to the basic content products, which we have over here at Informa. So these content products help in primarily meeting thought leadership objectives, which you will definitely have at some point in time throughout the year. And at the same time, they can be your aid tool in meeting other objectives when they are used as supporting content for your lead generation or marketing, branding, awareness. So first will be our white paper. So this is something that has been commonly used to generate interest via thought-provoking or industry trending content, which help to portray companies as thought leaders in areas of specialty. So if you look at white papers that are produced for the top 500 to 1,000 companies of the world, I believe at least 20% of these white papers come from Informa, which is a trusted partner for these companies. So each white paper that we do for our clients is around 10 to 12 pages long, based on existing research that our analysts are doing, which is of course in line with the topic of interest from the client side. So of course, if you have a topic that is not within our area of research, we can also do a new research for you to actually come up with this a specific white paper which you require. And the timeline for production for white paper is usually about 12 to 14 weeks after the client decides to engage us. And the license period is 12 months. No worries, at the end of this webinar, we can actually provide this PowerPoint presentation to anybody who requires it, upon request, of course. Then you can actually look through it in greater detail as well as the examples that are present. Okay, next up is infographics. So these are highly engaging and easily digestible content for your target audience. These can be used widely across your sales and marketing material, and they come in quick reference story and mixed content format. These are very popular because unlike white paper are very serious content stuff, and they of course appeal to the C-level and senior management people. But for infographic, for your target audience, some of the time they do not have the time to go through every single part of the white paper. Instead, an infographic may appeal more to them. And the timeline for production for infographics is 4 to 6 weeks after the client decides to engage us, and the license period is also 12 months. Of course, we also do videos for our clients, and you may ask me what is so different from the videos that Informa can do for you compared to those that other vendors are doing for you. What is so different is that the videos that we do for you will involve analyst commentary, which can be their presentation or dialogue with the subject matter expert from your company. So the video is usually around 5 minutes long, which is more than enough. And the production time is about 4 to 6 weeks after content selection is finalized. And at the same time, this video will be Omdia branded. So this actually adds further credibility when you use this video as a sales or marketing tool, rather than you producing it and name it under your own company, which actually come across as some sort of more hard selling compared to us, which is more from a neutral perspective. And we can also do analyst guest blog for you. So this 1,000 word guest blog will be written by our senior analysts in the area or specialty that you require. And the content is also derived from existing research that they are doing. And of course, we will actually have consultation with you to understand topic of focus so that we can actually select the most suitable senior analyst for you. Production time is also around 4 to 6 weeks after content selection is finalized, and license period is 12 months. So lastly, for our basic content products, we also do custom ebooks and podcast series. So these are rather self-explanatory, so I shall not dwell on them. So after this session is over, we can send over the deck to you, and you can actually look through them in greater detail. So next up will be our outreach digital products. I think for most of you here today, this is actually one of the key objectives that you're looking at, which is demand or sales lead generation. So these tools definitely help to fulfill your primary objective of lead generation, but at the same time, they can also be helping you to support your secondary objectives of thought leadership and branding awareness. So this is the most popular outreach digital product that we have nowadays, the webinar. And for us at Informa, we are almost doing at least one webinar per week. So webinar, what is the main purpose of the webinar? It fulfills what we call broad stroke lead generation. So the attendee numbers usually average around 100 packs, and the attendee profile are very diverse. They can be senior management to director to manager and even executive. So at Informa, for our webinar product service, we actually provide end-to-end service, meaning for the webinar, the client just need to let us know the theme, the topic that you're looking at, as well as your target audience. The rest of the work, we'll do it all for you. And what's even better is that our services do not just end once the webinar has finished. So instead, we continue to list this webinar once it's ended as on demand at our platforms for 12 months after the webinar has ended. And for the first 3 months after the webinar has ended, we even provide the data report of the viewers with their contact details to you. Of course, at the same time, you will also get the full list of registrants and actual attendees with their full contact details at the end of the webinar. And at the same time, you have the service of our professional and well-known analyst that's assigned to you for the webinar, who will give you his or her advice on the theme and topic for the best industry relevance. And at the same time, this will exhibit industry credibility and neutrality, which attracts attendees more. So I would say actually our analyst is one of the key factors why a lot of clients engage us for whether it's webinar or virtual roundtable events. Reason being, our analysts are not just neutral and credible, but at the same time, they are very well known in their area of expertise. And lastly, we have a very dedicated core service team who can help you to call specific target audience accounts for you to ensure the probability of the attendance of your key accounts. So lastly, the webinar recording that is provided after the webinar has ended can be used as a sales or marketing tool in your future approaches to your clients. So the next two slides are on a draft timeline schedule of 6 weeks lead time for you to understand the intensive planning in detail that we at Informa undertake for our client to ensure the high quality of delivery of your digital events. And also for you to understand that 6 weeks is the minimum lead time that we need to deliver a webinar with results. Of course, if you have more time like 8 weeks, we will be more than happy if you can plan well in advance and notify us. However, do note, as mentioned previously, that our analysts are all fairly well booked in advance. So it's best for you to confirm any webinars that you're planning with us early so that we can hold on to the most suitable analysts for your webinar. On24, this is the platform that we're using for webinars for our clients. And you can see from the screenshot that this platform is highly interactive. On the left, you have the speaker presenting. Below him is actually the section whereby the attendee can address live questions to the speaker. In the middle of the screen, you have the presenter slides. On the right, you have the speaker bios and resources that you might want to put there for attendees to download, such as the slides, your brochure, or even better, if you have any latest white papers. And in the middle bottom of the screen, you actually see a lot of buttons over there. So this is the interactive features such as live polling, survey, Q&A, etc. for the attendees and speakers to have meaningful interaction throughout. So over the years, Informa has solidified its reputation as a leading provider of digital products. Many years before COVID, we have already started providing these services, and hence our policy nowadays is not to accept every single piece of business. It's to only promise what we can deliver based on our decade of experience in this field. Therefore, we have an intensive consultation process at the beginning with our clients to ensure that all objectives, needs, requirements are well conveyed, with us also equally confident to deliver what is being promised or even beyond what is promised. So these are two recent examples, as you can see, of webinars that we have done. And the attendance numbers, along with the profile attendees, are very satisfactory for these clients. And if you add on to the initial registrant numbers, and not to forget the fact that their contact info are also provided in reports to our clients, the amount of sales leads that the client actually get for this investment amount is definitely more than worthwhile. So next up is a virtual roundtable. This is something that is similar to a webinar, but it's radically different in various aspects. If a webinar is known as a broad stroke lead generation tool, a virtual roundtable is a targeted qualitative lead generation tool. So as mentioned, Informa's webinars usually average around 100 attendees. But for virtual roundtable, we strictly keep the maximum attendee number to 15 attendees, 15. So if you're doing a Google search on corporate virtual roundtable event online, you practically find nothing. Reason why? Reason being that virtual roundtables are meant for much more private settings with only senior decision makers, at least minimum of director level and above in attendance. And the topics of discussion are usually kept within the virtual roundtable itself, and hence the attendees are very willing to voice out their opinion and thoughts, which is exactly what the client needs to build up a strong rapport with these attendees for quality lead generation and of course quality sales deals. So an example is that of an US MNC, IT MNC, which we did 2 virtual roundtables 2 months back. So they are quite a well-known company globally. So they wanted to do a virtual roundtable on a topic called cloud for telco. So of course the audience are telcos. So weeks before this virtual roundtable, we actually have our team to be calling up all these potential VIP attendees, and also sending them surveys to understand what are their key topics of concern, because we will be discussing these key topic of concerns during the virtual roundtable. And during the virtual roundtable event itself on the actual day, it was Chatham House rules, meaning no recording by video, and we do not even review who are the attendees after the event itself. So this is done so that the attendees are actually very open to share their thoughts with their fellow peers in some of the most pressing issues they have currently. And through this interaction during the virtual roundtable, by them voicing out their concerns, and actually even some of the peers come up with new solutions for these pressing issues, it was a very interactive and I would say happy environment whereby all these professionals are actually, they are from different companies. Some of them could be competitors, but they are working together to find solutions to their pressing problems. And at the end of this virtual roundtable, the analysts will come out with a report on the findings from these pressing issues mentioned and the solutions, and actually give this report to our client who can actually further use it as a sales and marketing tool. And after the first roundtable, this client come back to us again and did a second roundtable with us. So the key reason, similar to other clients, why they come back to us again and again, whether it's for webinar or virtual roundtable, is that they really managed to build up meaningful and long-term sales relationship with the attendees, which amount to much higher ROI compared to other tools, which may be cheaper, or even other vendors which are cheaper in terms of investment per lead. So usually for virtual roundtable, every month we do around 2 virtual roundtables. And as mentioned, honestly, if you're looking for someone to be helping you with your webinar or virtual roundtable, what is important for you, not just the outreach, but also the content, and as well as the quality of the analysts that can be helping you to curate the theme and topic, and also moderate the session to make it into a very interactive and meaningful session for all the attendees, which will of course help you in getting even higher ROI. So this is the virtual roundtable platform that we're using is called Shindig. So it looks very different from the webinar platform of On24. So you can see this is more of a private environment setting with these 15 attendees sitting together like a real physical roundtable. However, Shindig, of course, it also has similar interactive features to On24. But in general, why we choose this platform is because it's more suitable in terms of the setting, the environment for a more private discussion of 15 people. Yeah. So following next will be a few digital tools that can actually support the lead generation for your events, even if you're not using our webinar or virtual roundtable series. So recently, I actually have a client, a leading telecommunication equipment company from Sweden that actually uses our digital promotion platforms to promote their webinars. They are doing their own webinar series, but they are using our platform to promote it. Reason being that they do not just want to keep on approaching the same data pool of clients that they have. They want to approach new database, and they see Informa as a very good option for them to consider in actually outreaching to new quality audiences. So of course, these tools can also support other lead generation marketing promotion campaigns that you are currently doing. So if you look at content syndication package, this actually consists of several avenues of promotion, from EDM, newsletter promotion, social media posts, etc. But the key unique point of this content syndication package is actually the fact that we provide a lead generation report with the contact details of the target audience that respond to these tools of promotion. So you actually get a list of these leads with the contact details. These people, your sales team can actually follow up after you did this campaign with us. Yeah. And next will be newsletter sponsorship and banner inclusion. It's similar to the content syndication package, except that no lead generation report is being provided. So for both the content syndication and the newsletter sponsorship and banner inclusion package, the platforms that we use for the avenue of promotion will be the most suitable platform based on your company profile, as well as the target audience that you inform us about. So as previously shown, we have a broad range of media, trade shows, market intelligence companies with their individual newsletter and research subscribers, etc. So we will propose the best platforms at Informa to you for implementing these entitlements based on your requirements. So next is our electronic direct mail campaign product. This is actually the most popular digital product that we have because they can be easily used by the clients. And the only info you need to provide us is actually your targeted profile, the audience that you're targeting, and we will then draw out from our database and let you know about the data count before you finalize your decision on using our EDM campaign. And after that, of course, we will send out this EDM at a confirmed date and time. So after the EDM is sent, usually within a week, we will send the client the EDM report. So what is really required is just a HTML file of your EDM to us for us to send out for you. And in some instances, we have some clients who may actually need help in doing up the EDM. We can actually help you to do the EDM for an extra cost, of course. But most of the time, I will advise my clients, if you can provide the EDM HTML to us, just do it yourself. It will be an easy piece of job. Yeah. And of course, the client knows best the content that they want to convey compared to us doing it for you. The next two slides will be on banner placements and on our newsletter website, our Tech Byte Industry newsletter. These are well received by our clients given the high web traffic that we enjoy, as well as the readership of our weekly newsletter. So usually on a weekly basis, we actually send out so many newsletters from our different media outlets, our market intelligence companies, and even our trade shows. So based on your requirements, you can actually select, the best option for your banner placement. And of course, lastly, as mentioned, we take a serious consultative approach to helping our clients. And supporting this is actually our almost 500 analysts that we have currently. So if you're interested to learn more about analysts, you can actually visit our website and listed over here. You'll realize that we actually have practically analysts covering every single pillar of technology and even market segment. So I would say most of the time we are able to render assistance to you in whatever you want to do. And even if you're not doing a webinar with us, you are interested in other digital products, we can also offer you maybe advice or interesting advice from a different perspective, from the industry perspective itself. And that could be very helpful to you in the long run. So lastly, we come to the end of today's webinar. To be honest, Informa has actually a much larger range of digital products than what is presented today, which are just our basic content and outreach digital products. But we want to avoid overwhelming you today. So if you'd like to understand more and at the same time, you are planning for your 2021 sales and marketing plan, me and my colleagues are actually more than happy to provide you with an individual initial consultation meeting to better understand your individual needs and also to propose maybe more targeted approaches to help you to achieve your 2021 key objectives. So here at Informa, we seek to be your mid to long-term partner to connect you effectively with your targeted market segment in the most cost-effective way, of course. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or require any assistance. So now we shall open to the Q&A. So if you have any questions, kindly feel free to let me know now. Yeah. Any questions from the floor? Okay. So if there's no more questions, or if you have any questions that you prefer to actually, contact us personally, via email or whatever, just feel free to let us know. We are more than happy to help you. So thank you all for your kind attendance today, and I hope that this session is useful for you for your 2021 sales and marketing plan. Of course, we sincerely hope that if you really have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. We will be more than happy to render you the right advice. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for your time today. Bye-bye.
Thank you.